This is the Italian cafeteria known as a Bialetti, invented by Luciana Bialetti from Genoa. There are 5 or 6 different sizes of the Mac Eoin, and now we're going to, because this morning for breakfast we had a larger one, which is an 8 cup, and this is a single cup one, and this is 3 cups. How it works is this. This is the pressure release valve here on this side. You fill the water up just below the pressure release valve. It's not crucial if you don't go to that high. Even if you go over it, it's not a big problem. But in the event of too much heat, this will release the pressure. So it's not going to blow up on you. But anyway, so you fill it up to there. We're going to do that in a second. And then this trivet, is known as the trivet, is filled up with coffee level. You don't tamp it down. You just put it in and let it settle, because if you tamp it down, you're creating a natural dam, a blockage, which doesn't permit the coffee to come through when it's boiling. Therefore, it'll overboil, and then you get the problem here, like I explained early on, with the pressure release. So, you put it in. When the water boils, it comes up through here, up through that filter inside, and then it has another challenge. It then has to go through the second filter. This is known as pressé, from the French, from the Italian word pression. It's not espresso. People say espresso. No such thing as espresso. The train's an espresso. The TGV is espresso. Marseille, Paris, espresso. Yes, not coffee. Pression, pressure, pressurized. So the coffee comes up through, the hot water comes up through the coffee there. Then it's forced through here. There's a little washer in here that creates the seal. In here, you can see there's a washer in there. So after that, it then has to come up through the volcano, Mount Etna in Sicily. Volcanic eruption, up through here. It is known as the steam stampede, stampedes, Latin word for stampede of the horses. So now we're now actually going to make the coffee and see the process and process. But first, and most importantly of all, we have to, good morning, the second cook has just arrived. Her name is Karen, she's from New Zealand. She's over here from New Zealand doing a course from myself, the Irish chef. Now we're going to do the beans. Now the beans, of course, here in this establishment, we only use organic beans. So we're going to grind the beans now. And here we go. This is a very traditional grinder. Beans, when they're not out, believe it or not, the best place to store beans is not outside, is not in the fridge, but in the freezer. That's the best place to store beans. But anyway, so we're going to grind the beans now. You can play a little game when you're grinding the beans. Pretend you're at the cup final, Milan versus Barcelona. Milano! Or you could pretend you're in Spain, having castanets, bullfighting. Beans are done. So now we're going to do this. Just have to finish that through the water. Fill it up there, like I said, up to that level. There. Perfect. Pop it in. If you've too much water in, it will become quite evident here, it will come through the holes. In this case, it hasn't happened. Therefore, we've done it properly. Thank you. Coffee. Watch this now. This is very important. Don't press it. Don't tamp it. It doesn't like being tampered with. You know? So you just fill it up. Make a little mound. If it's higher, it doesn't matter, because it'll just be a bit stronger. That's okay. There's no problem with that. There. Good reflexes. Good reflexes. Put it on. Make sure there's no water in here after washing. Now we're going to cook it. Because this thing is so high up from the element, it takes a long time. So I do this, and I put it straight on top of the element. This may not always work in your house. Your kitchen, your oven might be different than this one. But here is how we do it like that. So, this is a very old-fashioned, see? And we turn it back down, not too high because it'll burn the handle. Put it on there like that, and you wait for the horses to come, which is what we call the steam stampede. Now, with this coffee, unlike Nespresso, George Clooney and John Malkovich, with their artificial coffee in those plastic containers, try opening one before you make the coffee. Open one of those Nespresso coffee and see what's in there and smell it. It's full of preservatives, artificial stimulants, everything. And furthermore, it's wrapped in plastic. I have a theory about plastic, and my theory is that the only thing that should be stored in plastic is a penis. Thank you. Now we go back here again. Condoms, of course, I was referring to. Nothing else should be put in plastic. Plastic is a petrochemical, and it leaks into the product. We don't worry about the semen business. We're not talking about that now. But we're cooking here now at the moment. This is not a program about sex. Not to be confused. By the way, ladies and gentlemen watching, if there are any children watching this program, it might be best advised to send them off to some other room now, because this cook is liable to say anything. Thank you. So, now I have another theory about coffee, because I'm a purist about coffee. Number one is I don't use sugar, and I don't use milk. I have a theory about milk. Cow's milk is for baby cows. Sheep's milk is for baby sheep. Goat's milk is for baby goats. For us humans, if we're going to use milk, it should be, I'm not saying it should be breast milk, because we can't do this nowadays. But we use soya milk, which we are now going to show it. But then again, as I say, I don't really totally approve of milk in coffee, but soya milk, organic soya milk. Thank you. But what I was going to say was this: the best way to cool coffee, believe it or not, is cold coffee from a previous brew. What you should always do when you're making coffee is make more than you want. And the coffee that you leave over, you put it in a jug and you put it in the fridge. Cold coffee to cool hot coffee. What can be more logical than that? Why would you be tainting your coffee with something other than coffee? If you want pure coffee, you cool it with pure coffee. So, but we don't always think like that, and we often drink all of the coffee we make. Therefore, the next best thing to cooling coffee, of course, is water, because that's what the coffee is made with. So, we have a jug of water here. Now, because we're just having a little amount of coffee, I'm going to go and get some very small cups. Today, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this particular cooking program is coming from Domaine Les Aspres, Les Aspres, excuse-moi, in the Luperon, which is the house of Tom Mashler, the publisher, and Regina, his wife, who are very kind enough to give us the estate for this program, for this series of cookery programs. So, we're going to go ahead now with the preparation of the coffee, and using nice Regina's cups that she imported from Italy. So you might have a nice organic chocolate with the coffee. At this time of the day, we have some nice organic chocolate. Perhaps, it depends. Some people like that. The coffee should be nearly ready now. So, I would like you to watch what's happening here, because this is a very important part of the process. Watching the coffee coming through the mountaintop. It is basically like a beautiful orgasm, is how I've always described it in my cookery books. But today, because if the children are still watching, perhaps I shouldn't say that, but are they gone? Yes, good. Well, in effect, this is a maca orgasm. Watch it now here coming. Thank you very much. The cameraman is just coming in now to close it up, and the coffee is just coming through, and you're going to hear it. The steam stampede. Listen. Listen to the horses coming. Can you hear them? When the horses are just close, you know exactly. Listen. That's it. Now you make the horses go away again. Listen. They've just passed the house. I mean, brewing coffee like this touches the five senses. Sight, sound, taste, smell, and we touch the beans. Nespresso, what is Nespresso? Why would anybody want to drink Nespresso? Can you tell me that? We are now going to taste the coffee. Thank you very much. So, you watch this. This is liquid gold. This is the ultimate taste. This is opium. The opiate of the masses. Coffee. So that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes this morning's program on how to make coffee with the Bialetti, the ultimate method of making coffee. Nothing has ever improved on it, and nothing ever will. We can thank the Italians for that. Thank you very much.